It's my mood as I crawl into the room. The colors bring me around. Heaven knows I'll try and give you all my time when it's not on my side. These days are getting dark. I'm dying here, sweetheart, and if it's hurt you've got, then I'll just fall apart. The moon is lit tonight as a shadow breaks the light and beauty glistens through. We made it through this fire. Forgive the hurt and rise and make it all worthwhile. These days are getting dark. I'm dying here, sweetheart, and if it's hurt you've got, then I'll just fall apart. These days are getting dark. Still dying here, sweetheart, and if it's hurt you've got, then I'm better off without. I'm better off without. I'm better off without. I'm better off without you. Better off without you. Better off without you. Well, it was initially the bass player, Wilkie, who I was in a band with, I think we started early noughties, we started a band called Latent Heat. So then with other guys and that kind of, Wilkie left, or we kind of eased him out because he wasn't turning up a lot of the time. So he went away traveling. We just done our own thing after that when that band kind of broke down, and he got back in touch with us after he'd been back travelling and that, and he asked, he says, you fancy getting together for a wee jam? So we started from there really, and then we said, we've got some good songs here, you want to start a band? I said, aye, why not? So he knew Scott, the guitarist, who he was in a band previously, and so we asked him, and the three just got together, played some songs, and then we put out the feelers for a drummer. So then we got a drummer Andy, and then we started rehearsing and gigging. I think the Buff Club was one of the first places we played. And then Andy was with us for a wee while, then he kind of moved on, he moved down to London, so we got a drummer, Scott, another Scott, who lives across from the guitarist, Scott. He'd had a family, so he wanted to get back into music, because he'd not been doing it for a while, so he came in, and we just kind of took it from there. And Scott's he's the thinker of the band, he's the guy that never stops. So he kind of pushed us on a bit. Because the other guys they're kind of, go right, you know what I mean. But I kind of went for there, and we just started working on the songs, and then started looking for places to record and that, and then took it from there. I never really look at that, to be honest with you. I felt a bit lost in the noughties actually. I didn't really know where I was going or what I was doing musically. I just kind of wrote the songs, and at the time in the first band kind of we stayed together, but we changed our name and kind of changed the direction. The early influences on the early stuff we used to do was more influenced probably around about the Verve or Radiohead, stuff like that. Obviously, and a bit of Oasis as well, but after that it was kind of it was more anthemic and foot stomping kind of stuff, and it wasn't me really. I didn't feel it was being natural. So I've never looked at a niche and saw we would fit in there. I don't think that's natural thing to do, to be honest with you. I think once you get a few songs together and you start to find a kind of sound, you kind of realise, right, well, let's do some recording. I think the next natural thing to do after that is record, because then you get your sound through that as well, not just live. You can kind of smooth it out, tidy it up when you're recording, and you learn a lot about the songs when you're recording them, to be honest with you, and you take it into the next recording. Well, I've done that good there, and you kind of move on with that. Aye, it's just, then when you record, it's just, you kind of, let's do some gigs and get out there. But we're not one for playing many gigs. We try and hand pick the gigs and try and get good ones where we're on the bill with good bands, you know. We've done them at many gigs through the years where you're on with bands and go, why are we on this bill with these bands? Because they're not, you tend to want to be on a similar kind of genre, you know. Back in the day, they used to throw you on with heavy metal bands and stuff like that. It wasn't good, you know. But you just take it for playing live and recording and that, and you just take it for there, really. I've never really had a big plan. I just love writing music and playing it, really. And you can't do any more than that. I think you just enjoy it, especially when you get to the age of the 40 and that, it becomes more of a hobby. And if anything comes it, then great. But if not, then it doesn't bother me that much, to be honest.
Fire burns in its winter nights, zoom through the days like a moth to light. Every little tear that grace in your eyes, fill an ocean. But if you stumble trying to run, if you lose when you could have won, your battle scars and a will to go on, healing hearts in the hands of love. Shadow over me, I'm so hollow now, and every little tear that grace the eyes, feel an ocean. But if you stumble trying to run, if you lose when you could have won, the battle scars and a will to go on, healing hearts in the hands of love. But if you stumble trying to run, if you light up the fire, let me see your ghost. I wanna see the flames till the ashes burn. Light up the night, let your spirit soar. Canvas from afar to the stars above. Light up the fire, let me see your ghost. I wanna see the flames till the ashes burn. Light up the night, let your spirit soar. Canvas from afar to the stars above.
think with King Tut's, we played that quite a number of times, to be honest. Probably about 4 or 5 times in the years the band's been together. It's just, I think you're always just trying to get good gigs with bands that you see on the circuit that are maybe making some noises, or they've maybe already done it, you know what I mean? They've already been there. There's a number of bands, there's quite a few that maybe been on lineups where I can't recall some of them, but aye, they've done it and they've been there, you know what I mean? They're maybe out touring. It's just, I think for any band coming through, it's just trying to get good gigs, get in with the promoters and that, and just see if they've got anything available, just keep pounding them, you know what I mean? A place will come up, sometime you might get lucky and you might be on with a decent established act, you know? It's the way to go, really. We've never had a manager in the band, never. Maybe in the early days we had a manager, one of my mates, but unless you know the business and know what you're doing, it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. It doesn't do anything for you. It's just about getting gigs, really, and getting in there. See, for somebody that loves music, I don't keep up with current bands that much. I don't really know who's under the radar. We actually went to King Tut's the other week there to see the guitarist's mate's band. Apparently they're making waves, but Swim School, I think they're called. So I don't know. Aye, apart from them, I don't really know much else, because I don't go to a lot of live gigs. When I do my own gigs, I always find that's enough, because I see live bands here, but they're few and far between, to be honest. If I remember any of them, it just depends who your lineup is and who you're on gigs with, who you're doing them with. But I couldn't really tell you anybody that might be making waves now, because I'm stuck. I like the bands that I like. If there's anybody new on the horizon that jumps out at me, then I'll listen to them. But I don't recall anybody. I think I got the initial idea of the melody for that around about 2006, as long ago as that, and it was just really the verse melody I had for that. I was thinking of you too when I was writing that. That was in my head, and it was just I'd forgot all about it, to be honest. It was just a song I had, and then see when the band got together, MESMERENE in 2014, we were looking for songs to do. I says, I've got this kind of song, but I've not finished it. So I played the melody of the verse, and it had more chords in it. Scott, the guitarist, is normally good at structure, and he'll go, you don't need that chord in there, don't need that chord. So we done that, and he kind of simplified it, and we took it for there. Then the chorus and that just came out of nowhere, and it was very quick. Didn't take that long. It was one night in the rehearsal room that took to write that one. So that was for 2006, and I finished it in 2014. It's amazing how it happens.
Survive, I'll break these shackles and I want to the light. Now I'm born again. I cracked my skull just to picture it all. Living with these lost souls is killing us all. And I'll walk into the light. And that's why the world won't wait. And if the light down the government, we thought we had it all, but did it
Fire and Ashes. I think that was around about 2015, 16. That was a song I was playing about with for about the melody for a good 5-6 months. It just wasn't sitting. I couldn't get it. Couldn't get it finished. I finally finished it. I think me and my partner Tracy were living in White Inch, just at Partick, and I finished it then. I come up with the middle eight for it, and that was the last thing that I needed for it. And actually, the melody sounded a wee bit like a hymn for Chapel, to be honest with you, that I maybe nicked. But I got it for there. I don't really know what the song's about. It's probably just about, I think it's a bit lost, I think, more than anything, and keeping their memory going type thing, you know. Kind of with the mid-light where it light up the fire, let the ashes burn, all that kind of stuff was kind of, their spirit soar was all about keeping a person that you've maybe lost alive, you know, just through memory and just talking about them. These songs are all that was kind of written more 2012, I think, around about that time. I was getting into a lot of meditation and stuff, and it's funny that you mentioned earlier about the guy called Franny that was into Buddhism. I was kind of into that quite a lot, got a lot of books on it, and was quite interested in it through Mulkey, who's the bass player in the band. He's into it in a big way. So that came in many different parts, and it was trying to splice them all together. I think with some of this, I think with the outro of that song, it was, I don't know, I had Richard Ashcroft and the Verve in mind with that one. But a lot of the songs I was writing, but it was like Paranoid Android type. They had all these different parts, and it was trying to put them all together. And that song's just, I think that's just a bit quiet in the mind. That's what I was missing that time. It was just a bit getting rid of all the noise in the head, you know what I mean? And the world won't wait, like, you'd spend that much time worrying about things and things going through, and you're missing everything, you know. And that's what that's kind of about, really. But people take different things for it, I suppose, if they ever listen to it. But that was my kind of take on it. That's what I was mental at the time. That was about, I think that was 2005 when we came back from New York, and I was jet lagged, and it was just, I think that song just came out of nowhere with that. I just started, I was in that headspace in New York, and such an amazing place, and came down to ground zero on that, because we went to 2003, 4 and 5, so we saw the changes to that as well with the memorials and stuff. And I just wanted to write a song about it, so it was, when you're on the bus going to the airport and you're leaving New York and you're looking back at it, and it was like such a gutting feeling. I don't want to leave here. So that's where the song was more kind of, because there's no grass, it's just all concrete. It's just like a major city, in my hometown's all kind of fields and grass, and that's where the kind of idea with green, a sea of green, with nothing in between, you know what I mean? But I love home and all that kind of stuff. And then the lyrics talking about New York would kill you, you know what I mean? If you, particularly me at that time, I was too excited with it. And I think if I had to live in New York then, I probably wouldn't be here today, you know. But love the city. And when I didn't really come up with the chorus until a few years after that. The song resurfaced, and then when we got the band together, I brought it to the band and said, what about this song? And Mulkey, the bass player, said that he kind of always liked that, but we changed that a lot and made it a bit more anthemic and opened it out a bit, because it was a bit too restricting. But when I was singing with the chorus for that, the New York chorus, I'm just always get visions of the U2 song New York or Sinatra. And I always thought when I sang that I was ripping somebody off, but I don't think I did. And then we went to record that at 45 Aside recording studio in with Bruce in Brigton. And it was all going for an album. We had all the songs together. We'd brought out a couple of EPs and we had the songs together, but then obviously when the pandemic hit, that kind of put a stop to it. So we all decided, because it was only song left that wasn't on an EP, we would release it as part of the pandemic, just to help support people, raise money for people that needed it. Through the drummer Scott come up with a charity called Scran for the Clan, Motherwell based, and we just went with that and we put it out. Scott came up with a great video for it, taking in a lot of kind of iconic visionary in New York. So it was like, but we recorded it as a lockdown video. I think we were the one kind of first ones I saw doing it, but obviously no one knew us, so no one really had saw the lockdown. Then musicians started bringing their version of lockdown videos out, so we had that kind of thing where we were recording in our own room for our separate homes and stuff, with the New York imagery coming through our walls type stuff. And he done a great job with it. So I can't remember what we raised, a few hundred anyway, but I think if we were a bit more established, we'd have probably raised a bit more, but we done our bit and it was worthwhile, to be honest with you. So aye, good.
Nothing in between. How I love home and all the simple things, but I hate you and all you put me through.